Hey guys, June 2nd, 2021, and a lot of things happened last night in the NBA. Portland had an all-time performance from Damian Lillard, wasn't enough. I think he solidified himself as one of the all-time shot makers, clutch shot makers in NBA history. He has a track record of it. They ended up losing 147 to 140 against Denver in double overtime. I had said that series was going to go 7. I had Denver going. I do see Portland winning the next game, going back to Denver, and things unfolding like I thought they would. So I want to give praise to that. Anybody that was kind of doubting Jokic as the MVP yesterday, just more proof that he is. Let's touch on Brooklyn for a bit. So they end up wiping the floor with the Celtics, 123 to 109. And that sets a crash course up that a lot of people are waiting for. So Brooklyn is now going to take on Milwaukee in the East semifinal. And a lot of people are kind of saying that might be the NBA Finals. 2 best teams in the league. And after last night, what happened with Phoenix and the Lakers, that might be solidified as a statement. But, Brooklyn, of course, was incredible as usual. All 3 of their guys went off. James Harden, I've said this before, he's the most important part of that team. He's the guy that needs to remain healthy for them. If either of the other 2 guys goes down, they still have a chance. But if James Harden goes down, I just don't think that they have much of a shot, because as you're all seeing it unfold now, and I kind of talked about a month, 2 months ago, he is the best decision maker, best point guard, best basketball IQ on the team, and he can get buckets with the other 2 guys, if not possibly even better than the other 2. Definitely better than Kyrie. Okay, it's time to talk about LeBron James and the Lakers. So yesterday I did a little quick video and I talked about how Anthony Davis was going to miss the game, and it was time for LeBron to show, this is your chance. Step up. And he's done it before. This is your chance. You're undermanned. Step up, have a great game, win this game, bring it back to LA, and close out the series. For anybody that saw that game yesterday, it wasn't that the fact of the Lakers lost by 30, which they did. 115 to 85 losers to the Suns. It's that the team was lifeless. LeBron James, 24, 5, and 7. You check out a box score, like, oh, hey, he did his job. If you want to talk about yourself as being one of the best players of all time, consistently go out of your way to say that. He's gone in the media and talked about how he's won championships that has lifted him above, you-know-who, Michael Jordan, beating the Golden State Warriors, winning in the bubble, whatever he can say to build a story, because he's a storyteller. He's also one of the best basketball players of all time. I don't want to discredit that. And I'm not throwing shade at him as a basketball player. The shade I'm throwing is him as a leader. So the team loses by 30 points, no problem. We have talked about on this show, I went at it with Igor at the beginning of the season, and I'm not sure really where Lamar thought about it. He was a bit on the fence that everybody thought the Lakers came back this year and they got better, right? Why did they get better? So same team pretty much. Anthony Davis coming back, you assume he's going to be healthy. He never is. But you bring in Dennis Schroeder, who won 6th Man of the Year last year. Clearly an upgrade, point guard from, I guess Rondo was their point guard last year, but he showed his worth in the playoffs, and he always does. And they bring in Montrezl Harrell from the Clippers, who was, the runner-up for the 6th Man of the Year. And everybody's saying that this team got better. I think it's clear to say that they did it. And not in terms of skill set, because sometimes, and I talked about this numerous times, you bring in guys that have more skill, but the team isn't cohesive. Things don't mesh. Guys are trying to get their own. And when LeBron goes out and does 24, he shot 9 of 19, not great, but not terrible either. And I have to hear from everybody how great LeBron is. At what point are we going to see it? Because any all-star, top 10 player, if you're going to get Love and Kyrie doing what they do that year, Wade and Bosh doing what they did in Miami, you better win championships, right? You get 3 of, at all those times, 3 of the top 15 players in the league. Easy. Top 20, you can debate it. What are you going to do to show us that anybody else can't do? The most important thing to me, because I want to stick to the narrative of this being more, at least this episode, being more of a concept, an idea that I want to get through, as opposed to stats. Because LeBron's going to get his stats, I have no problem with that. It's him as a leader. And it's pretty clear that LeBron James is not the leader a lot of people thought he was. I never thought he was much of a leader, and there's different types of leadership. These days, social media, the younger generation, people don't talk as much, and it is what it is. People aren't gonna, get in your face like Kobe did, like Mike did, like Shaq did at times. Not often. But guys like that there are guys that lead by example, and I guess you can say, like, everybody thought Kawhi Leonard, possible leader. He goes to the Clippers, you're seeing that. He's throwing up incredible numbers like LeBron. To be honest, better numbers than LeBron. But he doesn't have Kyle Lowry, who's a leader and a respected figure in the change room. So now I'm looking at LeBron and I'm kind of saying to myself, we know that you're great as a basketball player. But what makes you transcendent if you want to be the greatest of all time? Because if you want to enter yourself into that category, which he is anyways, but if you want to talk about you being the best ever, don't even worry about the 6 for 6 with Mike. And we talked about that he's lost before getting there, but LeBron's 36 years old. If you're not a leader now, you're never going to be one. And I'm kind of making this comparison to, being in the workplace, because leaders are not just in sports. They're in professional life. They're in your family, as a mother, as a father, as a big brother, as a boss at work, as a coworker. And sometimes people are lucky to have mentors or leaders that they can kind of groom themselves to be. And LeBron James is clearly not that. The tipping factor to me was when he walked off the court. I believe it was in the third quarter. And we already know that he's going to come up with an excuse, right? Because that's what he does. He'll say that, maybe something got hurt or he needed some attention. That was the biggest embarrassment I've seen from LeBron in his career. Not even the Mavs choke job. Doesn't even compare, but at least he stayed on the court for that. I was just so embarrassed for him because I don't know really how you come back from this. It doesn't matter what happens. They could win the championship. It really doesn't matter. That will always be another chink in his armor. Because if you're a manager, even in life or in sports, whatever it is, excuse me, you need to do something different if it's not working, right? You need to rally your team. Maybe it's give them a pep talk. Let them know that, sometimes you need to be a therapist as a leader with friends. What's going on? You need to make everybody around you better. And he's not done that. I don't care about him throwing a pass to a guy in the corner. Guys can do that. Point guards can do that. What he hasn't done is taken this team, and I don't know because I'm not there in the locker room, obviously, but it's pretty clear with these results that we have that what he's not doing is getting these guys, bringing them up, letting them know how important they are to the team. And Caldwell Pope obviously had that terrible game, and then after a while it was just, I don't know, he gave him a little pep talk. Seems like it didn't work. And it seems like all the jokes that Andre Drummond had when he was leaning back on Jay Crowder, they've kind of come back to bite this team in the ass, because now you're against the wall. You're going to lose, if not game 6, you're going to lose game 7. Anthony Davis isn't coming back to save you. And what's the narrative now? LeBron James needs more help. How much more help does he need? You brought in Drummond, bring in Schroeder, brought in Harrell, brought in Gasol, he's washed. But how many guys do you need? Like, Marc Gasol is still easily the best third center in the league. He gave them minutes. Who else do you want? Should we get Giannis on the team? It's getting ridiculous. So once again, to end this off, I can't stand. He wants all the praise whenever he's doing things great. He doesn't move in silence at any time. He gets poked in the eye, not questioning that he felt pain. He's human, of course. He has to tell a story after him. I saw 3 rims, I had to do this. We get it, dude. You're not the first guy that's been poked in the eye. Unfortunate incident. I don't know if it comes back to a childhood thing with him, that he always needs to build a story, tell something. I know enough liars in my life that paint a picture when you can see it on the wall. I don't know what else to say. I don't want to say that this is poetic justice or anything like that, but in terms of LeBron and the whole Drake thing that had happened as well, of him being out in public, and if that was anybody else, they'd be in protocol, getting close, hugging guys, and all that kind of stuff. It's just, they bend so many rules for him. He has every opportunity, and he just puts himself on this pedestal. And it's like, dude, at one point, like, we get it, you're 36, you're not, the youngest guy, you don't have all the same athletic gifts you had growing up, but make some changes. Move in silence sometimes. Like, don't quit on your team. Pick some guys up. Finish the game. Finish on the bench. And I'm dying to hear what he's going to say now because I don't know how, like I said, I don't know how you come back from this. But that being said, I'm going to have the guys coming on the show this weekend. We're going to talk about it. Really excited to have Luca Rosano coming on as well next time we're going to get together, get his insight as to what's going on with this team. But disappointed. I think that's been pretty clear in LeBron James. Not necessarily surprised, but disappointed in his play. And for his legacy's sake, I'm really hoping that he can come back and at least have a good 6 and 7. Now, the Lakers aren't done by any stretch of the imagination. And when I had said earlier that I thought that the Suns were going to win it all, or at least get to the finals, people laughed. And things change so quickly in the NBA. We look at even the Dallas series. I was the first person to write off the Clippers. Luka gets hurt, Clippers win a game, all of a sudden momentum swings and it's a totally different ballgame. So the Lakers aren't done by any stretch of the imagination, but my Suns pick's looking pretty good right now. I'm going to wrap it up right there, guys. Enjoy the rest of the games tonight. There's, of course, going to be some good ones. Clippers and Dallas have another big game to see where the momentum's going to go in that one. And Philly's going to be without Embiid, which is going to be really tough for them, especially when Ben Simmons is shooting like 15% from the free throw line. I'm going to wrap that up. I'll chat with you guys later. Enjoy the games tonight. And Igor will be back, hopefully with Lamar. I'll share some of his voice notes as we get into the home stretch of the playoffs. Take care, guys.